Hi everyone, and thank you for joining me on my channel. This video is looking at how I've managed to pretty much fix my macerator pump out toilet. So long story short, it broke around about 6 months ago because my daughter, bless her, threw pretty much, well, what I thought at the time was a huge amount of toilet roll down the toilet, and it just completely stopped working. The motor got jammed, and every time I pushed the flush or empty button, it just made a clicking noise and it blew, or the fuse went, like it trips the fuse. So I just thought it was completely out of action. So I took the toilet out, and we've been using a cassette toilet since then. And then the other day it was nice and sunny, and I just thought, do you know what, it's broken anyway, I'm gonna take it all apart, clear it out, see if I can fix the thing, which I've pretty much done. I've got no experience of plumbing, toilets, electrics, anything like that, but I'd fixed a few minor leaks on it before over the winter, so I had a little bit of an idea about what went where. So I'm hoping this video might come in handy for someone else who has a similar issue. Like I say, I'm no expert, this is just what I've done. There should probably be some sort of disclaimer on here, I don't know, but yeah, this is just what I've done, and I'm hoping that some of it might come in handy. Because of the small space of a narrow boat, I haven't been able to actually film putting back bits together. There was just nowhere to put the phone and get a decent angle, but I'm hoping just through talking over the footage that I have done, you can get an idea of what happened, and hopefully it will be helpful for some. So this is what the macerator looks like once it's disconnected from the toilet. There's the big pipe there, which I've got my hand on. That's what connects to the bottom of the toilet bowl, and there's a pipe coming up the top, the longer, thinner one. That is the waste out pipe, I believe. Some Jubilee clips which hold it all in place, and that's where the motor and the macerator itself is, the black base on the bottom. So the first job I had was to take it apart. I'm not going to bore you with this for too long, but basically the tiny Phillips head screwdriver that I had didn't do the job. And I probably recorded this for about 45 minutes until I realised that absolutely nothing was budging. But the idea was I was going to unscrew all of those little screws that go around the white bit to pull it apart and clear out the gunk that was inside and was causing the block. So as you can see, despite my best efforts, that just wasn't working because I was simply using the wrong tool. So then I took a bit of a different approach. Whilst I was waiting to get some advice from someone who knew what they were doing, I thought I would fish out all the bits I could see. So now I've taken off both the pipes, and I'm just scooping out anything I can see with the screwdriver to try and start clearing all the gunk that was inside and blocking it up. Here I'm giving it a little soak, my thinking being that if there was dried tissue and things clogged around the motor, this would help soften it, and then I might be able to get a little bit more out with the screwdriver. So we are on day 2 of fixing the macerator toilet, and the last video was me struggling trying to get it apart. I did manage to get it apart when I asked for some advice and was told to use these. So I gripped the bottom, and then took, this is so awkward trying to video this, but then took a Phillips screwdriver, took all the screws out, pulled all the gunk out. It actually wasn't that bad. These are sensitive things, that's what I've learned. Like, I was expecting it to be absolutely clogged full of God knows what, and it wasn't that bad at all. I soaked it overnight in bleach because there's quite a bit of scum on there, but to be honest, it didn't really touch it. And I've now screwed it back together, which I should have filmed, and to be honest, I was getting a bit het up with it all, so I didn't set the camera up, which is a bit poor. So now I've got the unenviable job of reconnecting this firstly onto the toilet. I've just done, because I didn't want to, I've plumbed this in before. When I say plumbed it in, sort of connected it. I've done that before, and it is not easy, and I will video that, but it will probably be fast, speeded up by about 100 miles an hour because it takes forever. So before I did any of that, I wanted to check that this worked. I've just done a test run. I can hear the motors running, so that's really good. I did wonder whether I had to reset something, because I remember reading something on Google about having to reset it, but it seems to be working. I also managed to flood the bathroom because stupidly I forgot that it fills up with water as well as empties it. So now it's just a case of putting everything back together. Here's my toilet. I'm going to give this a good wipe through and a good bleach. I'm going to connect this onto the toilet first, because that is a mammoth job in itself. And I've done it once when it was actually in the bathroom and it wasn't fun. And then we'll move into the bathroom and hopefully get this all rigged up. And I'm going to have a flushing toilet by the end of the day. Here we go. So I've just reconnected the macerator to the toilet basin. I don't know if you could see how awkward that was for me even to do this. So that's the problem with narrowboats, is there's such little room for manoeuvre. It'll get really interesting when we have to connect this all back up in the bathroom. But that, I think, is on pretty firm. Let's give it a good... no one wants their waste pipe coming off. Yeah, that's not budging. So that's what we want. So I'm going to go and carry this into the bathroom and take it from there. Okay, so we're in the bathroom. I'm sounding a little out of breath because I've just carried the toilet all the way through. I don't know if the scale comes across, but if you could see how little room we've got for manoeuvre. That's my water in pipe. That's the electrical bits that I connected and used, was able to test the motor was working. And this is my version of capping off pipe work. It's a sandwich bag. It's going to be absolutely foul. I'm dreading this, to be honest. But this has to connect to this, and this is the absolute humdinger of it. I'm going to try and set up the phone somewhere where you guys might be able to see some of this palaver, but well, I don't know, there's just not much room. But yeah, essentially that's going on there, connecting the electrical, and then water in pipe goes into that hole there. Simple, right? So we're on day 3, the morning of day 3. I'm a little bit gutted, well, more than a bit gutted actually. Yesterday I thought it was all plumbed in, attached, and was going to work perfectly. As you can probably see by all the wet towels, there were some quite serious leaks. I've managed to work out that I haven't tightened that up enough when I was putting the macerator back together, and there was also a tiny little leak round by where the seal meets the toilet bowl. So we're going to try and rectify that now. I swear to God, this toilet just tries to test me. But let's give that a go. If I can get an angle to record it, I will try. Let's see how we go. I've speeded this up quite a lot because essentially it's me taking a very long time to tighten lots and lots of screws. Oh, this is getting a bit tiring now. So again, thought I'd got it all tightened up. It took me about 3 hours to get the macerator back on, and all looked grand until there's definitely a little leak still underneath. And I think what it is, it's the macerator. Hello, Emily. Itself. So I can't even, this is how tricky it's going to be. So somehow I've got to get in there and tighten up some little screws and nuts and try and fix this without taking the macerator itself off, because I can't spend another 3 hours doing that. Plus it's full of water now, so it'd be quite gross. So sorry for the absolutely appalling angles here, but here we go again. Okay, so this is the end result. The toilet's plumbed in, the electrics are connected. I've tightened everything to within an inch of my life, and it flushes and it's working again. I could lie and say that there's absolutely no leaks. That's not true. I have a tiny leak. I went away for 5 days, came back and saw a little bit of water on the floor. You know what? It's just going to be a job for another day. The fact is the toilet's working, it's functional, and I can live with this tiny little leak, because compared to not having a toilet, this is so much better. So it was a lot of work, but I'd call it a win. So I thought I'd just do a little roundup of what I did to get the toilet working again, because I know the video is a little bit disjointed and probably quite hard to follow. Essentially, it was already disconnected. I took the pipes off of the macerator so I could get into the holes, scooped out what I could see. Then once I was given the right tools and some good advice, I was able to unscrew it completely and clear off any other things that were blocking it, which actually wasn't that much. I was quite surprised. So it was all clear of any tissue or whatever that caused the problem in the first place, that had blocked the motor. Screwed it back together, didn't do that tight enough. So my advice would be screw and tighten as much as you can possibly tighten until you cannot tighten it anymore. Put the macerator back together, reconnect it to the toilet bowl while it's not in the bathroom, so you've got a bit more space. Again, tighten that as much as you can tighten, and then reconnect all the pipes, water in, waste out, and the electrics. I would suggest doing what I did, which was just doing the test run with the electrical motor, just to make sure that it's actually going to work after you've gone to the trouble of plumbing it in. And that's how I got my toilet working. The irony being, I've just been told yesterday that in the winter we have to go down to Talibon to moor up. No, that's not true, sorry. We can stay moored here, but we basically haven't got out. They're shutting off the canal at Brecon, so I haven't got access to the pump out all through the winter. So we're going to be back to using a cassette. Oh, that's joyful. But anyway, it's a small win. And I think when you live on a boat, especially as someone like myself who doesn't have any DIY skills, any plumbing skills, getting these little wins is a bit of a confidence boost. So I'm hopeful that that can help some people. And if anyone has any questions or any comments, drop them below and I will get back to you.